So, you want to play Kingdom Hearts, huh? Maybe you've always wanted to get into it and are just now getting around to it? Maybe you watched Snapcube's Kingdom Hearts fan dub and now you just gotta know what the deal is with these games? And due to the series' reputation for being confusing, you came to YouTube for help, right? Well, you've come to the right place. In this video, I'm going to explain to you the best versions of each game, the order to play them in, and some gameplay tips to help you get started so that your first experience with each game is as smooth and enjoyable as possible. Kingdom Hearts is my favorite series of all time, and I want people playing it for the first time to love it as much as I do. Naturally, there won't be any spoilers for any of the games, so don't worry. All gameplay will be from the very early stages, so if it looks a little basic, don't worry, it gets cooler as you play through each game. And please forgive the lower quality of the gameplay footage. Quite frankly, my graphics card kinda sucks and I really need a new one. And don't worry, if you don't want any gameplay help, I will split the video into sections so you can just skip that portion. Also, if you are a Kingdom Hearts superfan like me, I want you to vet me and correct me in the comments if I get anything wrong. I really want this video to be the thing you show a friend or maybe someone online who says they want to get into Kingdom Hearts, but it just seems like too daunting of a task due to the series' reputation. So if I get something wrong, please let me know so I can correct it in the description or comments. Part 1. Buying the games. So let's start with the most important thing, actually getting the games. Nowadays, it's very easy to get a hold of the games, since they're split into several different collections, all of which are available on the PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One and Series X, and PC through Steam and the Epic Games Store. Technically, they're also available on the Switch, but for some reason, they only released them as cloud streaming titles, so you need a constant internet connection, and there ends up being input lag, and it's an overall terrible experience. If I had to choose a single best version, I'd probably say PC due to the great modding community that the games have. Not that you should play the games for the first time with mods, but that, you know, if you want to check that out after you finish the games, if you want to explore. But if you have PlayStation Plus, Extra, or Xbox Game Pass, the games have been included in those services in the past, and maybe right now, depending on when you're watching this. So make sure to check and see before you buy them, depending on your preferred platform. So what are the actual games that you would be buying? Well, the first collection you should get your hands on is Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5 HD Remix. If you're wondering why it's called that, originally on the PlayStation 3, they released the 1.5 HD Remix, which included Kingdom Hearts 1 Final Mix, Chain of Memories, and the cutscenes from 358 over 2 days. Later, they released the 2.5 HD Remix, which included Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, Birth by Sleep Final Mix, and the cutscenes from Recoded. I didn't mention these ports earlier because they sucked. They would crash the game at certain points, and they had load times longer than the original PlayStation 2 versions of the games. But they fixed these ports up, combined them into one collection, and put them on PS4 and then later Xbox One and PC. The 6 games included in this collection are the first 6 you should play. So if you just want to dip your toes in and don't want to buy the whole series right away, just pick up 1.5 and 2.5 HD Remix. But keep watching this segment because there's more information that you should have about bundles and other collections. If you've picked up 1.5 and 2.5 and want to just skip to the play order section, please go to the timestamp on screen. But I'm going to keep explaining the collections and the order you should buy them. The next collection you're going to grab is Kingdom Hearts 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue. Yes, I know the name is stupid, but this collection includes the HD version of Dream Drop Distance, the Unchained Key back cover movie, and Birth by Sleep 0.2 A Fragmentary Passage, which I'm going to be honest, that's the dumber name here. I'll explain what each of these are when we get to the play order. What you should know right now, however, is that you can get both 1.5 and 2.5 and 2.8 in the Story So Far pack. This includes everything we've talked about so far. As for what platform you should play it on, like I said earlier, PlayStation and Xbox are perfectly fine, PC is good if you want mods, and run far, far away from the Switch version. Get the Switch Cloud version of Kingdom Hearts or nah? No, no, no. Under no circumstances do you buy the cloud version
of Kingdom Hearts. Even if you have any other option, literally any other option. No, do not buy that. It is not worth it, not for a second. If you need to see how bad it is, download the fucking demo. It is so fucking bad. There is no reason that they had to port it like that and couldn't just port the actual games. No, under any circumstances, do not give them your money for that shit. It is absolutely fucking insane that they even thought for a second that, oh yeah, we can just port it through the cloud. We don't have to actually do any work to port the game, even though it's a bunch of fucking PS2 games. Of course they could run on the Nintendo fucking Switch. I should answer this phone.
The next game you have to buy is Kingdom Hearts 3. You can get it on its own, or as part of the all-in-one package. The all-in-one package includes 1.5 and 2.5, 2.8, and Kingdom Hearts 3. Kingdom Hearts 3 also has a major DLC called Remind. Remind is sold separately on the PlayStation and Xbox versions, but on Epic Games and Steam, it's packaged in. It's also packed in on the Switch version, but once again, avoid the Switch version like the plague.
You stay away from that. If you download it, it downloads a virus onto your Nintendo Switch called the Kingdom Hearts Cloud version. Do not play that shit.
The PlayStation and Xbox versions also have two versions of Remind available. One is more expensive and includes the extra concert videos. These are literally just videos from concerts of a live orchestra playing music from the game. Unless you're a crazy super fan like me, it's really not worth it. Each version of Kingdom Hearts 3 also has exclusive Keyblades. The Steam version has Dead of Night, the Epic Games Store version has Elemental Encoder, and the Switch version has Advent Red. All of these are included in the base game on their respective platforms. Then the PlayStation version has the Midnight Blue Keyblade, and Xbox has the Phantom Green Keyblade. Both PlayStation and Xbox have Dawn Till Dusk. Originally, these were pre-order bonuses, but they can still be purchased from the stores on their respective consoles. The last game that you'll need to purchase is Melody of Memory, a spin-off rhythm game. Now, here's the thing with Melody of Memory. If you really hate rhythm games, you could theoretically skip this one and just look up the story cutscenes on YouTube. There's only like an hour of cutscenes, and it's all at the very end of the game. Now, I enjoy it, and I would really recommend actually playing the game, since as far as rhythm games go, it's very beginner-friendly. But this is just a suggestion. It's available for PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and PC. Strangely, it's only available on PC through the Epic Games Store. It was never put on Steam like the rest of the series, unfortunately. Also worth mentioning is that this time around, the Switch version is the actual game. It's not a cloud version for the Switch. But once you have Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5 HD Remix, Kingdom Hearts 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue, and Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind, and Melody of Memory, you're ready to begin. You may have heard that there are a couple of mobile games that you should play. Unfortunately, they're no longer available to download and play. But all of the story is available on YouTube. We'll get to how you should experience it when we get to the play order, though. Oh, that's coming up right now. Part 2. Play order. Like most game series, it's recommended to play Kingdom Hearts in release order, starting with the first game in the series, Kingdom Hearts Final Mix. The Final Mix subtitle is used for a few games in the series. It's basically like the director's cut version of the game. The Final Mix versions of the games have better game balancing, additional cutscenes, and other improvements over the originals. That's all it means. So you're gonna start with Kingdom Hearts 1. The next game in the series is Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. This game uses a card-based combat system. Originally, Chain of Memories was released as a Game Boy Advance game. It was later completely remade as a PlayStation 2 game under the title Chain of Memories. There were some minor story changes between the two, but nothing that's going to make anything not make sense later on. Some people prefer the original, but I'd recommend the version, which is included on the 1.5 and 2.5 collection. Now for game number 3, Kingdom Hearts 2. This is an easy one. Just play Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix off of the 1.5 and 2.5 collection. Kingdom Hearts 358 Days Over 2. Yes, that's how you pronounce it. It'll make sense once you play the game, don't worry. Days was originally released on the Nintendo DS. You have options with this game once again. The best thing you can do is download Kingdom Hearts Melon Mix. This is a modified version of the Melon DS emulator. It lets you play a modified version of the game designed to work with a controller and on a single screen. It also edits in the HD cutscenes from the 1.5 and 2.5 collection when they show up in the story. I'll include a link to the GitHub page and a video explaining how to download and run it. I'd give more of an explanation here, but there's going to be more updates to this project as time goes on, and I'd like to have this video be relatively future-proof. Your other option for this game, if you don't have a PC, is to just watch the cutscenes off of the 1.5 and 2.5 collection. This is a perfectly fine way to play, and you definitely won't be lost moving forward. However, I highly recommend going with Melon Mix because the cutscenes included here leave out some really good moments from the original game, as well as the context that is the gameplay. No spoilers, of course, but you'll likely be much more impacted by the story if you play the actual game. Game number 5, Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. Once again, play the version included in 1.5 and 2.5, Birth by Sleep Final Mix. Birth by Sleep was originally released on the PSP, but an HD Final Mix port was included in the collections. You have to play through the game as all 3 characters to unlock a final story, Sonic Adventure style. Each character is saved in different slots, so make sure you don't save over any of them. Normally I'd save this for the tips section, but it felt important to warn you about. Game number 6, Kingdom Hearts Recoded. Coded was originally released on mobile phones as a Japan exclusive, but it got a remake on the Nintendo DS under the title Recoded. Like with 358 Days Over 2, I recommend playing it through the Melon Mix project. So everything I said there applies to Coded. Once again, if you don't have a PC, the cutscene movie included in the 1.5 and 2.5 collection is fine. In fact, it was put together a lot better than the Days version, as it keeps much more of the important story bits. I would still recommend Melon Mix though, for all of the same reasons. Congratulations! You finished the 1.5 and 2.5 collection. This is where things get weird. Time to boot up Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue. If you made it this far, you're in it for life. Welcome to the show. I'm gonna put a freaking Paul Blart reference in this video. Game number 7, Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance. Originally released on the Nintendo 3DS, this HD version included in 2.8 adds a little bit of extra content, although it apparently wasn't enough to gain the Final Mix subtitle. It's just called Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance HD. Game number 8 is actually a collection of titles known as the Key Saga. Most commonly pronounced Key, although Kai and Chi are also acceptable, but people might look at you weird. Kingdom Hearts Key was originally a browser game released only in Japan. It would later be re-released on mobile worldwide under the title Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key. This retreaded the story of the browser game for all audiences, but once the story had caught up, the title was changed to Kingdom Hearts Union Cross. This time the X is pronounced Cross. Also released on the 2.8 collection was Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key Back Cover, an animated movie showing events important to the Key Saga that weren't covered in the games themselves. Here's the problem. The game is completely unavailable. But there's a solution. The Kingdom Hearts YouTuber, Damo279, collaborated with an incredible group of voice actors to create a fan dub of the entire Key Saga, edited together with the back cover movie included to create the most definitive version of this portion of the Kingdom Hearts story. So don't worry about having to go back and watch back cover, because it's all included here. This project and its creator, Damo, are pillars of this community, and this contribution cannot be understated. The Kingdom Hearts community is filled with some of the most dedicated and passionate people out there, and I'm really proud to be a part of it. So start with part 1 of the fandom. The link will be in the description. Now, Damo actually recommends experiencing the second half of the fan dub, as well as the other mobile game, Kingdom Hearts Dark Road, before playing Kingdom Hearts 3. I would recommend doing something a little different though, as I'm telling you to watch this before even playing 0.2, a fragmentary passage. So stick with me for a little bit longer before jumping ahead, and I will let you make the decision of what you want to do. This is just my suggestion. Since these mobile games were being released episodically alongside the games at this point in time, there isn't a specific best order to do it. Once again, this is just my recommendation. Game number 9. Kingdom Hearts 0.2 Birth by Sleep, A Fragmentary Passage. This is the shortest game on the list, as it released as a demo of sorts for Kingdom Hearts 3. It's kind of a Metal Gear Solid V Ground Zeroes type situation. This was originally planned to be part of the main game for Kingdom Hearts 3, but as it grew into a larger experience, they decided to release it on its own as part of the 2.8 collection. This was in an effort to hold fans over until the release of Kingdom Hearts 3, as well as justify the need and price for a new collection. Game number 8, again. This is where you should watch the second half of the fan dub, the Union Cross part. The link is in the description, so go watch it. Game number 10 and 11. Here you have two choices moving forward. You can play the next game in release order, Kingdom Hearts 3, or you can experience the story of one more mobile game, Kingdom Hearts Dark Road. Dark Road does not yet have a fan dub from Damo, but they are working on it, and hopefully it's been released by the time you're watching this video. If not, I will link a cutscene compilation in the description, as well as a link to the trailer for the Dark Road fan dub. Once the Dark Road dub has been released, there will be a link to it in the description as well. So if you're watching this way in the future, it might be there. It might be there. Check the description. There's a million links in there. The reason why I'd recommend going out of release order and experiencing Dark Road first is because it has information in it that makes the events of Kingdom Hearts 3 a lot more satisfying. But this isn't important. Do whatever you feel like. Either way, you'll have to play Kingdom Hearts 3. Once you've finished Remind and the other scenarios included, you're ready for the final game in the series. Or Dark Road if you played Kingdom Hearts 3 first. Game number 12. Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory. This is the last game in the series to be released up to this point in time. Like I said before, you can skip out on this one if you really don't care for rhythm games. It's totally up to you though. Just make sure you look up the cutscenes online for this one, since the little bit of story we get is important moving forward. And that's it for the play order. As you can see, there's a little more to the video, and that's for some more in-depth tips and tricks for each game in the series. Nothing spoilery, of course, but just some stuff you might like to know going into each game. With some exceptions for games that I think explain their systems pretty well and you don't really need help for. Please feel free to skip this section and go to the timestamp on screen if you really want to go in blind. Part 3, Tips and Tricks. Tips and Tricks 0. Difficulty. Before starting each game, you have the option of choosing a difficulty setting. Usually, these are between beginner, standard, proud, and critical. Each game is different, but if you're a beginner, I'd recommend starting on standard or proud. There are some achievements for completing the games on their hardest difficulty, but this isn't something you need to worry about too much, especially if you're just starting out. Beginner is usually reserved for younger players, so if you have a young kid who still isn't very good at games but really wants to play the funny Disney game, put them on beginner. I worry that beginner might be too easy for most gamers, however. So I would recommend to pick standard or proud depending on your skill/confidence level. As for critical mode, it was often added later on in final mix versions, and most of the games are not balanced around it. The only games with a critical mode where I'd say it was done well are Kingdom Hearts 2 and 3. And even with 3, I'd really recommend you not play on critical for your first playthrough. But if you're a pro at super hard games like Dark Souls, or you really like playing other action games like Devil May Cry at their highest difficulty, then definitely play proud. Or even critical in the case of Kingdom Hearts 2. Tips and Tricks 1. Kingdom Hearts 1. Kingdom Hearts 1 is probably the most awkward game in the franchise. Notice how I said awkward and not bad. Kingdom Hearts wants the player to feel a deep sense of discovery and wonder as you explore its world. It's not a straightforward game, so the things I'm going to tell you aren't going to be based on progression, as this is not a walkthrough, but it's meant to make your experience starting out a little easier. When you first begin the game, you will be asked to choose one of 3 weapons to take and one to give up. The one you take boosts your strength, magic, or defense stat, and determines the order and level you get different abilities as you level up. The one you give up just lowers the stat of either strength, magic, or defense. The recommended path for newcomers is to take either sword or shield and give up magic. You can still utilize magic in-game, it's just that the other stats will help you out a little more, especially if you're new to the game. Taking the shield will also give you 2 more item slots over the course of the game. On screen is a really good chart made by Knex? I don't know how to pronounce his name, but it's a very, very good post on the Kingdom Hearts subreddit. The link is in the description for the original post. This shows the abilities you get at each level. Linked in the description as well is another good guide on khguides.com, but I fear I'm overcomplicating this for a potential newcomer. You really don't have to worry too much about this. Just pick sword or shield and drop magic and you'll be fine. Almost immediately after this, you'll be asked some questions by 3 kids. Your answers to these questions determine the rate at which you'll level up. If you choose the top answers, you'll level up faster for the first 50 levels, but slower for the last 50. The middle answers will have you level up at the same pace throughout the game. And the bottom answers will have you level up slowly for the first 50, and then faster for the last 50. Once you ask all 3, it'll ask you to confirm. And if it says your journey starts at dawn, then you're starting fast and ending slow. Midday, you're even throughout, and dead of night is starting slow and ending fast. My recommendation would be to start at dawn or start fast and end slow. This way you level up at a nice pace for the main game, and by the end you aren't over-leveled. So any secret bosses or other challenging endgame content stays challenging. Kingdom Hearts 1 also has some battles that you're allowed to lose. None of them are forced deaths, but if you manage to beat these optional win boss battles, you can get some extra rewards. Nothing totally exclusive or missable, but maybe worth pushing yourself for. Other than that, you are good to go. If you're wondering about what order you should go to each of the worlds, I'd recommend going in a clockwise circle around the first group you have access to, and then for the second group, just jump around to whichever world has the lowest battle level. That helps the difficulty scale up at a natural pace. Tips and tricks 2. Re-Chain of Memories. Before you play Re-Chain of Memories, you should be aware that this version of the game has some extra cards that you can unlock only by watching through the 358 Days Over 2 cutscenes, also included in the collection. If this is your first time playing through the series, this may be a problem if you want these cards and to 100% the game, but don't want to get spoiled. First off, don't worry. You can't lock yourself out of them if you start the game and then go to the room where you would collect them. They aren't permanently missable. So if you would rather just play through the game and come back to complete it after you've beaten days, that's an option. But if you want to get them before your first playthrough, you have 2 options. Number 1, turn on the cutscenes and turn off the TV. The full movie is just under 3 hours long, so you have an opportunity to go touch some grass. Option number 2, the faster option. Just go to the chapter select menu and start from the beginning and hit pause and hit skip to the next scene over and over until you get to the end. But then you run the risk of seeing something spoilery at the beginning of a cutscene, especially if you aren't super fast with pausing. It might be a good idea to ask a friend for help with this method. Once you're done with that, all you have to do is go through the Roxas's diary entries. Once again, you don't actually have to read them, just open the first one and skip through until you loop around. There's also a second page of secret reports, do the same thing and skip on through. Now you should be good for Chain of Memories. To branch off from this, if you get a key to rewards, use it on the floor you're currently on. You can only carry 1 at a time, and since they're very rare, you want to maximize its value. But once you've used it on a floor, wait to use it until the next floor, or backtrack to a previous floor, since you can only get a floor's exclusive rewards once, and they're all exclusive. If you've unlocked the 358 Days Over 2 cards, each room of rewards should have 2 rewards in it. Good luck! Tips and Tricks 3. Kingdom Hearts 2. The weapon choices return in Kingdom Hearts 2, but they're much less important than in Kingdom Hearts 1. When you first start the game, you're given one choice between a wand, a hammer, and a sword. I know they don't look like that, but I looked it up and that's apparently what they're called. All these do is give you +1 stat in magic, defense, and strength respectively. You can do whatever you want, but as always, I'd recommend strength, especially if you're a newcomer or are playing on critical. But defense is also a decent option. A little later on, you get another choice between the same 3 weapons you saw in Kingdom Hearts 1. These will determine the level you get different abilities, like in Kingdom Hearts 1. I'd recommend the shield this time around, as it gets you some of the most important abilities in the game as early as possible. I couldn't find a good chart to put on screen. This is just a screenshot from the page on KH Guides laying it all out for you, which there will be a link in the description for. Lastly, the game features what are called drive forms, special powered up forms that you can go into during combat. Each of them levels up in a very specific way. Make sure you check your status screen from the pause menu so you know how to level them up. Tips and tricks 4. 358 Days over 2. Days takes a mission-based format where you complete one mission at the beginning of every day. Sometimes you'll be given a set of missions and must complete them one at a time, and oftentimes only one of the missions will be required to progress through the story. But don't worry, you don't have to save the required mission for last. There's a menu option to move the story forward. And I, of course, always recommend going for all the optional missions, since the rewards are pretty helpful, especially if you play on Proud. There are also some secret missions. Make sure that every day you talk to all of the characters in the lobby you start off in. Sometimes they'll give you extra challenges to complete, with rewards that can even include secret bonus missions. Linked below is a video from Kingdom Hearts YouTuber Key, who made a video listing all of the secret missions in the game. Although, as long as you're making sure you talk to everyone every day, you most likely won't miss anything, and if you do, the missions will always become available on a later day anyway. Tips and tricks 5. Birth by Sleep. The game features 3 playable characters, Terra, Aqua, and Ventus. Like I mentioned earlier, you'll have to play through the game as all 3 characters to get the full story, Sonic Adventure style. The seemingly intended order is Terra, then Ventus, and then Aqua. My recommended order, however, is to start off with Ventus, then Terra, then Aqua. I just think that helps the story flow a little better. The most important thing, though, is that you don't save over any of your data from the 3 playthroughs. You need completed save files from all 3 characters to unlock the final story, and then another completed file to unlock the bonus extra secret story. You can start with either Ventus or Terra, whatever you prefer, just make sure you end with Aqua. Abilities are linked to the commands you create in-game. You'll have to create a command with a certain material and fully level it up to keep the ability forever. Don't worry, the game explains this system a lot better than I am. This isn't super important, but it might make the game more fun and balanced. On screen is a guide from Prismatic Seal on the Kingdom Hearts subreddit. The link to the original post will be in the description, as well as a link to the page on the KH Wiki, although that one is a little harder to follow. And while we're being thorough, each character has different finishers that you can unlock. These all have specific requirements that you have to fulfill. There's a link to a great Reddit post by eKeybladeW that lays all of them out with the requirements. Tips and tricks 6. Recoded. Once again, at the very beginning of the game, you are given the choice between 3 weapons. You just have to take one and give one up again this time. This only decides your 2 starting commands. Just the 2, and then it has no bearing on the rest of the game. Once again, there's a table up on screen, but according to the KH Wiki, which is linked below, the recommended choice is to take either the rod or the shield. But definitely give up the sword, since that gets you a cure command right away. Tips and tricks 7. Dream Drop Distance. There are 2 playable characters in Dream Drop Distance, and the way it incorporates this is via the drop mechanic. This is essentially a timer that counts down, and when it hits 0, you are forced to switch to the other character. This is often criticized by players who want it to be more structured, but I think the best way to engage with it is to just go with the flow. As you play, you earn drop points, and when you switch characters, you can spend these points on temporary stat bonuses, among other rewards. This turns the game into a dance of sorts, where both characters help each other as they go through their respective journeys. The only time you should try not to drop is during a boss fight, as when you come back, the fight will be reset. This isn't the worst thing ever, but it can be annoying. Also, pay attention to your spirits. They're your method of getting most abilities, so keep on creating them and leveling them up, and don't just stick with the same 3 for the entire game. I couldn't find a perfect guide for this, but linked below will be a page from the KH Wiki listing all abilities and which spirits you need to unlock them. From there, you can click the link to the specific spirits page and see the recipe for creating it. But don't feel like this is required for playing or anything. This game also has a secret ending that you can unlock, but the requirements are very specific and annoying. No spoilers here, but I'll tell you what the requirements are. At the end of the game, you will once again be asked 3 questions. There are correct answers, so be sure to look them up, since I don't want to put them here and spoil you. And make sure that you nab all of the golden letters during the credit sequence. And make sure that you have the required amount of in-game trophies based on your difficulty. These are 13 on beginner, 7 on standard, 5 on proud, and on critical, no trophies are required, but really you don't want to be playing on critical this time around. If you don't do all of this, you'll have to do the entire final boss gauntlet all over again to unlock the secret ending. Or if you're not a completionist, you could always cut your losses and look it up online. I won't judge you. Tips and Tricks 8, Kingdom Hearts 3. The 3 choices are back, although this time not linked to weapons, just images of memories from previous games. That's why I'm not showing you any gameplay from this segment, because I don't want to spoil all the previous games for you if you're watching this all ahead of time. The choices you get are slightly different. Your first choice is between Wisdom, Vitality, and Balance. These determine your starting HP and MP stats. Vitality gives you 120 HP and 100 MP. Wisdom gives you 90 HP and 120 MP. Balance gives you 105 HP and 110 MP. It took me so many tries to get that line right, it's not even funny. The changes here are so small that you really can't go wrong, but due to how strong magic is in this game and how many things there are to keep you from dying, the general consensus is to just go Wisdom. But if you don't like playing with magic, Vitality and Balance are perfectly fine too. You're not handicapping yourself by making the wrong decision. Your next choice will be what determines what order you get some abilities. Guardian focuses on defense, Warrior focuses on attack, and Mystic focuses on magic. The abilities that this affects are all gained much earlier than in previous games, making this decision much less consequential than in Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. And this only affects order. You'll get every ability by the time you hit level 50, just like in previous games, where you would get every single ability by the time you hit level 100. Meaning, once again, I would recommend going with whatever suits your playstyle. But if I had to choose, Guardian would be my pick for harder difficulties, and Warrior for lower ones. Once again, linked below will be a full guide. The only part that you need to pay attention to is the starting choices section. Lastly, if you have the Remind DLC installed, you will be given one more choice. The DLC gives you access to the premium menu, and either the easy codes or the pro codes. These are like built-in Game Genie codes that let you make the game either much easier or much harder. Once you beat the DLC, you'll receive access to both sets of codes, but this decision gives you access to either set from the jump. Usual Adventure gives you nothing, Easy Adventure gives you access to the easy codes, and Challenging Adventure gives you access to the pro codes. This is all explained in-game though. Of course I'll let you make the decision you want, but I'd recommend just choosing the Usual Adventure for your first playthrough. Once you get into the game, my only advice is to have fun and experiment. Kingdom Hearts 3 by far gives you the most toys to play with in combat, so go nuts and try everything. And be sure to stay topped up on your cuisine. The stat buffs and abilities given by the full course bonus are no joke and can come in clutch on harder difficulties. And that's it for the tips and tricks section. So what's next? Well, assuming you played and watched everything in this guide, you're all caught up. The Kingdom Hearts series is in a weird spot right now. Back at the 20th anniversary event in 2022, they revealed both Kingdom Hearts Missing Link and Kingdom Hearts 4. Missing Link was poised to be the next mobile game in the series, and looked to be trying even harder to replicate the high-speed, action-packed gameplay of the console games than previously possible. The game even got a closed beta in 2024. But as you may have guessed by me talking in the past tense, the game was officially cancelled in May of 2025. Kingdom Hearts 4 got a trailer at the 20th anniversary event, but has had no news since, with the exception of some new screenshots posted the day after Missing Link's cancellation, a very obvious form of damage control. It's very likely that the story and lore of Missing Link will be worked into a future installment in the series, be that Kingdom Hearts 4 or something else. However, if you're just itching for more Kingdom Hearts, linked below will be a re-upload of all the gameplay and story from the closed beta test. But if you've been bitten by the Kingdom Hearts bug like I have, there's still more to experience if you feel so inclined. There are technically some extra games you can play, but they're very, very, very optional. Kingdom Hearts Magical Puzzle Clash is a Flash game that was posted on Disney's website to promote 358 Days Over 2. It's thankfully archived on Flashpoint. Next is the infamous Kingdom Hearts V-Cast. This game was released episodically on Verizon phones in 2005. Episode 3 is still lost media, unfortunately. For more information, including how to play it, there are links in the description to a video essay by Kingdom Hearts YouTuber Aid1043 and a video explaining how to emulate the game. There's also the Japanese-only Kingdom Hearts Mobile. Once again, Aid1043 came through, and also worked to not just archive, but put together a playable English translation of the game. It's a simple minigame collection, but the fact that it's playable at all is amazing to me. Linked in the description is the reveal trailer of the translation. Lastly, there's the Kingdom Hearts VR experience. It's just a short interactive video in VR, available only on PlayStation VR. This is probably the most inaccessible game right now, but that's fine because it's barely even a game. Just a bunch of cutscenes recreated in VR with you in place of one of the characters. If you have a PlayStation VR, it's free to download, so you can go check it out. But if not, there's a link in the description to a full playthrough, just so you can see what it's like. If you're still in need of more story, there are some short stories you can check out, as well as manga adaptations of each of the games. None of these are crucial to the story, but if you're starving for more Kingdom Hearts content, maybe check these out. I had a pretty difficult time finding translations of them though, since a lot of them were released only in Japan. And I'm not even sure I was able to find all of them that exist or have been translated into English. If you know more about these stories, please let me know, as well as where to find more comprehensive information on them. But first, we have the short stories included in the Character Files, a book about the different characters in the series. It also includes original short stories from the perspectives of several different characters. Linked below is a reading of all of them from Kingdom Hearts YouTuber ProdigyXCD. It was the only place I could find that had all of them in one place listed out, so feel free to look them up on your own if you want to read them for yourself. Next are a couple collections that I believe were included in the Japanese version of Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. In the description are links to Volume 1 and Volume 2. Information on these was hard for me to find, so there may very well be more stories out there, or a better place to find and read them. If you know more, please sound off in the comments. I really don't want a lot of this stuff to be lost to time on old forum posts, where new fans can't find it. And as I alluded to much earlier in the video, the last and most important thing is the community. Kingdom Hearts would not be what it is without the amazing people who are still talking about it and making art and content online about the series. I mentioned several YouTubers and websites that this video would have been incredibly difficult to make without. Go to those links and support them. There are also fan games you can check out, as well as an incredible modding scene for the entire series. I mentioned Melon Mix before, but there's so much more. There's the incredible randomizer for Kingdom Hearts 2, and you know where to find the link, of course, as well as a staggering number of character overhaul mods for Kingdom Hearts 3. And that's not even to mention fan events like Reconnect and the yearly March Caprice, which is actually starting soon if you're watching this video when it originally releases in mid-March. In a world bogged in cynicism and despair, Kingdom Hearts and the community built around it offer a light of hope and sincerity. I've been RobbsterKlaw. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe, and remember, there is so much more to seek, so go forth and seek it.